What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video we are recapping Wales versus England. Very interesting game of rugby. Obviously there's a few controversial calls that some are talking about more than others, but at the end of the day Wales are triple crown champions and are deservedly so. Who would have thought, if we look back at Wales about a year ago, we would be seeing them triple crown? Coach Wayne said at the start of this tournament that Wales could potentially win the Six Nations. A lot of people laughed at him, thought, jeepers mate, if we look at your team last year, not going to happen. Well, he's on the verge of possibly doing it, and credit to this phenomenal team for achieving what they achieved. It's an intense game, started off very close. Wales starts off ahead, then obviously England start coming back. Then obviously those controversial calls allowing 2 tries for Wales. Now obviously everyone's got their own opinions and thoughts. All I can say is that maybe this is when we could start considering bringing in a captain's referral, so that the player's captain can challenge decisions that they possibly don't agree with. It's just going to help rugby better. You know, TMOs get it wrong. You get it wrong every now and then. But for me, for a captain, if he's maybe seen something that the ref might have missed or something illegal, you know, it gives the captain the opportunity to call on it, and maybe we can reflect a situation that didn't go the way or went the other way, and then it gets turned the right way. But that's just a thought. We're seeing it in Aotearoa. We're seeing one captain's referral. Maybe it will be introduced into international rugby as we progress. Score 40-24. England getting Anthony Watson getting a try in the 36th minute and Ben Youngs in the 62nd. Wales, as mentioned, started strongly. Josh Adams, the try scoring machine, 16th minute try. Then Liam Williams in the 30th minute. Kieran Hardy, 48th minute. And then obviously to just put more fuel to the fire and the wounds, open them in even more, Cory Hill getting one in the 79th minute. But unfortunately for England, you know, you can talk about the decisions of a referee or not. Discipline cost them this game. Penalty kicks in the 67th, 70th minute and 75th minute cost them. And that's, unfortunately, England's got themselves to blame for that. They need to work on the discipline, because these types of things cost games. And then obviously that try just sealed the deal. At one stage this game was close. It was anyone's game. But England's discipline seemed to cost them, and unfortunately for their sake, they didn't get what they wanted. England are now currently sitting, I think, 4th in the log. Isn't a good situation. Pretty much back to where we were maybe 2 years ago. And just 2 years ago, Wales won the Six Nations Grand Slam. The defending champions had their moments. They had improvements. They had moments of good play. And unfortunately for them, it just wasn't their day. Kicking percentages are the key. Wales didn't miss one kick. Obviously, 100% for Wales, 71% for England. You've got to convert your points to put the pressure on the team if you're wanting to win, guys. If we look at some of the stats, obviously 4 tries to 2. Meters run, 247 for Wales, 382 for England. If we look at possession, Wales had the possession and Wales had the territory, 55% to 45% in both possession and territory. Deserving win, as we see that happens. Set pieces were pretty strong. Both teams didn't lose a scrum. 3 out of 3 for Wales, 5 out of 5 for England. If we look at the lineouts, 17 total lineouts for Wales, 16-1. So only losing the 1. And England also losing just 1. 4 lineouts to 5. Obviously no cards, thank goodness, but penalties. 14 penalties conceded by England. 14. That is way too high. Eddie Jones needs to get discipline back into this English squad. If they're wanting any opportunity at ending their campaign strongly and to avoid being 4th, which is technically wooden spoon if you exclude Italy, then they're going to have to work on their discipline. They're going to have to work on their game plan. They're going to have to play cleaner, stronger and better if they're wanting any opportunity. Wales gave away 9, which to me is also quite high, but obviously not as high as 14. Both teams will need to work on their discipline. Now obviously right now it's looking good for Wales. They could potentially win the Six Nations. They could potentially get a Grand Slam. This was one of the big ones that they needed to get past, and they did convincingly. Now obviously, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, France versus Scotland has been postponed. Now as we head into the break of Six Nations, we'll probably hopefully see France taking on Scotland sometime during the next few weeks, as we only return up to Six Nations, I think on the 14th if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of time for Wales to regroup, rethink and reshape how they are going to approach the next few games. Obviously the big one is France. That is the one our eyes are all going to be glued to the television. Because at this stage, if France beat Scotland in their rescheduled game, then we're looking at two teams that will definitely want the Grand Slam Six Nations title. France haven't done it in 11 years. Wales got it just 2 years ago and they Grand Slammed it. What an opportunity for France to get the title and Grand Slam it after such a long drought of not having it. Both teams are going to be wanting to really go at this game hard. They're going to be wanting to get every opportunity and take on every opportunity. I must say credit and respect to Wales for how they have overcome such tough situations. They went to their lowest ranking in the world. They went from a successful 2019 campaign to a shocking and appalling 2020 campaign. I'm very chuffed for this team that they have come back. They're a brilliant nation. They're a bunch of great blokes who only want the best in their sport and for their teams. If I look on social media, there's just a lack of buzz in the world round as they celebrated hard for the Triple Crown. It is not done yet. We still have a long way to go. Like I said, France is going to be the big one. But anything's possible. If Wales stick to their guns and stick to the way they're playing and can work on a few things like discipline, then Wales has stand every opportunity to win the 2021 Six Nations title. They deserve it, and so do France, which means this game is going to be one of the best games we're going to see this year, I think. A lot was expected for England. I think England need to go back to the drawing board and regroup and reshape and rethink of where they are quite right now in rugby. There were positives. It's not all negative. There were opportunities where they had great moments. There were opportunities where they could have actually won this game. Whether you blame the referee or whether you blame Eddie Jones or Owen Farrell or whoever it may be that you want to blame, one thing that you got to take away from this is discipline. If discipline's not good enough, then you don't stand a chance to win not only the Six Nations, but you don't stand a chance to win games like this. There's a massive hype for this. There was a massive build for this. And I must say respect and credit to Wales on this one. They deserve to win, and they were sharp. I must say credit to England, 128 tackles. They only missed 10 of those. 92%, that is outstanding. Wales, 130 tackles, 111 of those successful, 85%. So they can be proud of the defence mechanism that England currently have. But it's discipline that they need to do. Pick yourselves up, get back into where we know England rugby. And as for Wales, continue the success, continue the movement forward. You guys are looking good, and you stand a great chance at winning the Six Nations title. And in my opinion, you deserve it as well. But watch out for France. They are going to be a tough one to beat. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you legends real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.